What's up, guys? I'm here at Freedom Park. I was getting a quick workout in before this rainstorm started to kind of rain on my parade, I suppose. And while I'm taking cover, I figured this might be a good time to kind of explain those polls I had yesterday asking you guys if you're familiar with the scale of consciousness or shadow work. Surprisingly enough, about 50% of the people who responded weren't familiar with either. So just to kind of explain how they're all intertwined, and especially with what's happening in the world right now, we could start with the scale of consciousness. And this is that scale that I showed that's from that like 1 to 1,000 level range. Things lower on in that is going to be like hate, greed, fear, manipulation, control. It starts to move up into like neutrality, acceptance, willingness, love, joy, peace, all the way up into enlightenment. And once you become aware of the scale of consciousness in general, you start to see that everything resonates on one of those levels. Conversations, people, places, substances especially. For instance, every person is on one of those levels. Their set point is somewhere on that scale. And those obviously fluctuate depending on the day, the circumstance, the environment. But for instance, like if you're at a 100, you're way lower on that scale. When you drink alcohol, which is actually a 200, which is the same as courage, we call it liquid courage, you're going to feel better temporarily. Temporarily being key because you're always going to have that dip. You may feel worse than the 100 that you're normally at. Other substances like marijuana is actually a little higher than alcohol, but it's still a crutch for someone who's at a 500. That's going to make them feel lower, for an instance. People, conversations, we all resonate at that. So be very conscious of the scale of consciousness. The cool thing is, if your set point is low right now, you can do work to make that naturally higher. And shadow work is like the best tool to do that. Shadow work is essentially anything that helps you to reveal your parts of yourself that you hate or that you've hidden for so long, or that you're scared of, or you might not even, like your subconscious might be hiding them from you. It could be things from your childhood that were so traumatic that you actually block out because your brain is so powerful at keeping us safe. But the caveat to that is you might be blocking it out, but it's still holding you back in maybe a potential love life or career because you have all these doubts that you're not even aware of. So doing shadow work through like meditation or journaling, talking to a professional, breath work being a good one, movement, exercise. There's a lot of ways to make those unconscious behaviors conscious. Now, to make this video a little bit more esoteric and out there, the world right now is doing its shadow work. And I'm going to say that again right now. The entire world is doing shadow work. All these fears, all these things written in control and manipulation are being brought to the surface right now. So you might think, no, the world's getting worse, or everything's so scary. But what's happening is that curtain is finally being pulled on all those subconscious beliefs and behaviors that we've held up for so long as the world, keeps spinning. It could be scary if you're not aware of that right now. But the cool thing about shadow work is like you're shining light on all these shadow aspects for them to finally heal themselves. What's going on with this manipulation as far as people gaslighting you into something that you may not want to do. Or, if you're watching what's happening in Australia right now, they're basically going through what we went through in 1776. They're trying to throw this over, this control, it's happening so much. Watch what's happening in Afghanistan right now. Watch what's happening with our government, with racism, with medical freedom, with big pharma, with the school system, with the banking system, the dollar. All of these things look so crazy right now because they're going through their own shadows. And collectively, we're raising our consciousness to see what doesn't serve us anymore. So it should be really exciting times. Oddly enough, this time has been forecasted for thousands of years. The year 2020 is actually what the Mayans would have called 2012, the end of their world. Based on their calendar, it's actually the year 2020 when the world ended. And it's not the end of the world in an apocalyptic type of way. It's the end of the old world, the things that no longer served us, those shadow aspects. It's also been it's been forecasted by astrology. We just moved into the age of Aquarius on December 21st, 2020. The age of Aquarius is all about like humanity coming together, technological advancements, things that are rooted in greed, fear, control, manipulation, all falling apart. So the world looks crazy right now. The Bible has very similar things to what's happening right now. I mean, you can see these similar forecasts from so many different cultures and history for thousands of years. And you'll start to see our karma being cleared by this stuff playing out. You know, like I said, like with Australia, they're going through a revolution of their own, which we went through back in 1776. With the medical freedoms, it's starting to get people to question, like, how much body autonomy do I really have? With the dollar and how we just keep printing more and more money, it's not backed by gold. People are turning to things like crypto and questioning how secure it really is. I know I kind of went on a tangent there, but it's so funny once you make yourself conscious of the scale of consciousness and seeing where everything resonates, how it's all intertwined. You can literally look at everything like you have a cheat code that unlocks so much once you become conscious yourself. And we're always going to have those unconscious behaviors, but if we're aware of them, that's how we continue to do the work and integrate it. If you guys have questions about this, I would love to connect. You can book a breathwork session with me, or even just if you want to talk, we can book something on there too. I'm working with some people to get my neuro-linguistic programming certification done so I can take on more clients as a coach. Love you guys more than you know. Keep doing the work. Stand in your sovereignty. The world's getting crazy, but it's going to get better. We're welcoming in heaven on earth right now. Love you more than you know.